Oh, it's Wednesday, baby. Look at us. Here we are again. Better, stronger, older, smarter, wiser, cooler, kinder. I'm a little bit thinner. Anyways, let's get into it. Hello, world. Come inside the Dear Juju podcast. Hey, how are you? How's your Wednesday going? Mine is going just fabulous. I lost 5 pounds. Food over drugs, did their parasite cleanse, did 10 days of eating raw. Not only did I do 10 days of eating raw, but I was also in my estrogen window from Fast Like a Girl with Dr. Minnie Pels, you know who I love. And my eating window I do from like 2 to 7. So from 2 to 7, I just ate raw, broke my fast with an avocado, lime, salt, chili flakes. You know how I like it. Then I would just eat fruits and raw nuts. I love nuts in my mouth, okay? Very easy for me to just snack on nuts. Then for dinner, I ended up having a salad, and it was great. And I also worked out, and I lost 5 pounds. Now, will it stay off? Who knows? This weekend, I went on a little bit of a debaucherous weekend because it's the 80-20 rule. Right? Have you heard of this rule? We're like 80% of the time and then 20% of the time, you know, like you work 80% and then you rest for 20. So I'm like, okay, if I do 10 days on and I go really hard and eat really clean, then I can have 2 days over a weekend where I can drink a little too much, where I can eat a little too much, where I can kind of loosen up the belts a little bit, which really does renew you to get it back on track. So I'm back on track today. So the Olympics are on, right? And I was watching all these gymnasts and divers, and my son and daughter were so impressed. And I was like, you know what? My mom made a tape for me of all of my youth and everything that I used to do. And I was like, let me see if I can find that, because they didn't believe me. Because I was like, Mom could kind of do that. And they were like, sure you could, Mom. I'm like, no, seriously, I could. So I went back into the archives. And you know, when she sent them, I looked at my commercials, my star search, my dance stuff, and kind of really left it at that. I did not go deep into the home video section that was on this, because she digitized us for Christmas. And now we have them on USBs, which is so lovely. It was so fun showing my kids. Now, in going through these home videos, it was just so healing. One, because you know I do the inner child work, and apparent to me that's just like, I am who I am, who I have always been, even before like the trauma of my family kind of blew up. We're talking 2, 3, 4 years old, and I was there like, over here. Hi, I'm Julianne. Like, just a fucking ham. Making funny, goofy faces to the camera, making everyone laugh. On one of my birthdays, all my friends come over and we did a play. I made my mom film it. I made my brother dress up. I made everyone else dress up, literally bossing everyone around. I was Cinderella, and I was like, Jooch. And that's what my family calls me. Everyone who like is really close to me either calls me Julianne or Jooch. Juju is very much like a name that I give to the world, kind of like Lady Gaga. And I was just like, Jooch, you just are who you are. So I don't know if you can go back and find any of those old videos, or if you've digitally remastered them. It is such a good idea. Or ask your parents to do it. Digitize them. Get them on a USB. I'm sure you've heard this quote before. In a world that tries to change you, go daring in the direction of who you are. And I think that is something that really kind of re-energized me with watching these home videos. In other news, my caftans, I picked them up tomorrow. My God, I can't wait. I cannot freaking wait. I've had to be on their ass. If this round of samples is good, we're off to the races. It'll be 1 month and they'll be out there in the world, and we'll be ready to sell. I'm so excited. So hopefully it'll be good. Stay tuned for that. For you that are watching this podcast, and if you listen to this podcast, you know, me and you were homies, right? Like, you're my crew, you're my vibe, you're my family. So I've just been feeling that because I have to focus on this social media thing, which is so annoying, but whatever. I got to do it. We all got to do it, right? I pushed and I pushed and I pushed and I pushed. So I think it's a really good time to just take a break. I'm working on focusing on editing my side yard spruce up, which when that comes out, baby, it's going to be a YouTube about a 6-minute freaking killer. Okay, it's going to be a good piece of content. And then I want to go hard again back on the social media. But again, it's that 80-20 rule. But I'm like, I need a little break. I need a reevaluation. I need to get re-inspired. I want my caftans to come out. I'm working on my logo behind the scenes. I'm working on building a business behind the scenes. I'm working on a big piece of content behind the scenes. So even though it doesn't seem like I'm doing a lot, I got a lot cooking on the stove, okay? And when that meal hits, blam. But yeah, I'm kind of taking a little bit back. And I think that that's okay to remember in this day and age and in this America where it's push, 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 do, go, 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 have, more, right? That it's okay to go, let me just sit back, relax, take a breath, have a summer, get re-inspired. I'll see you in the fall. I'll come at you. And when I come at you, I'm going to come hard. But yeah, that's just what I've been feeling lately. And it's been really nice. Like in the mornings, my son is on my right, my daughter's on my left, and I just snuggled and kissed them. And I was just like, this is so freaking nice. You got a work-life balance. I'm not making any money from this shit yet. So it's got to really feed my creative soul because it ain't feeding the bank account yet. But when it does, I'm ready to receive. Let the heaven doors open and just rain on me, honey. I need bills, checks, deposits on my tits. I did hear that Joe Rogan, it took him 5 years of his podcast before he started making money. In November will be my 5th year anniversary from when I started Dear Juju in the whole compilation of things. So we're still young, Last but not least, I went and saw my friend's baby yesterday. The vintage store that I wear all the time, Recess? It's here in LA. It's on La Brea. If you ever come here, you gotta go. They have been trying for 10 years to have a child. And she had the most beautiful baby. Let's talk about etiquette really quick, okay? So when your friend has a new baby, I brought her flowers. I brought her homemade booby balls, which are really great. If any of your friends are lactating, Google booby balls. I ordered dinner, whatever they wanted. They told me what they wanted. And there was something, and then a little gift for a baby, a little outfit. And it's just like, this is etiquette. You know what I mean? Like when somebody in your life that you love, not that you have to go 4 times because, I'm team DTM, but it's just like, go over there. Carve out some time, bring them something nice, usually food, whether they're sick or whether they're having a birthday. If you know their favorite restaurant or something that they love, bring it to them. She was telling me that the people that worked for her didn't do nothing. And I was like, you know what? This is the problem with this generation nation. They ain't got no etiquette. Like if your boss is having a baby, dude, go to Trader Joe's for $3.99, have everyone sign a card. Get 1 cupcake, put a little candle in it on her last day or when she comes back and say, welcome back. We love you. Hope you had a great time. There's a little cupcake and a card. No big deal. Glass of champagne you can have now. There you go. There's the little thing of champagne. You can get some Prosecco for $10.99 at Trader Joe's because it's the thought that counts. It's not about how much you spend. And when they told me that just really grinded my gears because they're all in their 20s and she does so much stuff for her employees. She's an amazing boss. You know what she's been through. You can't even buy her a card? Oh, no. And she's like, I didn't say anything. And I'm like, oh, I would have said something. I'd have been like, y'all fuckers couldn't get me anything? You know how much I love you and how much I spend time with you? You couldn't pick me up a card. Not even a card. You some selfish, lazy ass mofos. So it got me thinking. I was like, you know what? I really need to put out etiquette series as well. I think that's something that Dear Juju, as the queen of the domain and the domestic goddess and the hostess with the mostess and the mama clamorama, I'm like, with all of that, etiquette needs to be in there too because motherfuckers need to be reminded. Am I right? But also, I think my last point to that story is just like 10 years of determination. Okay, look at this. This is not a plug, by the way. Angela Duckworth, Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance. There's another book I'm never going to read. But I ain't got no fucking time to read about no grit because I'm too busy trying to find my grit. It really is the power of passion and perseverance. And I think just being with her and having that baby on my chest and the babe Ruby fell asleep on me, I was just like, she wouldn't have been here if you wouldn't have persevered. So whatever you're going through right now, persevere. Find the power, take a break, but do not quit and keep going. Okay? Keep going, because you never know what pot of gold, what baby, what business, what this, that, and the other is going to be at the end of your perseverance once you persevere. And I thought it was really powerful, and it actually really inspired me. And I was just like, perseverance is something that also needs to be taught to this generation, okay? I'm bringing it back. Etiquette and perseverance. Thank you very much. All right, now you know what time it is, honey. Bippity boppity fucking boo. Domestic goddess time. Cooking. So I have been into salads like crazy. So this is like a spring veggie salad on a bed of Greek yogurt that is absolutely divine. We have Persian cucumbers, red onion, sugar snap peas, asparagus, broccoli, edamame. Now the cucumbers you just cut and put to the side. The red onions, I like to chop them and then I like to put them in warm water because it kind of cooks them a little bit and takes away a bit of the bite. Sometimes it's too harsh for me. You can also use a shallot if the red onion's too harsh. Then the asparagus, the broccoli, the sugar snap peas, and the edamame, you put all in a pot of boiling water and leave it for about 3 minutes, then take it out and put it in an ice bath to kind of shock its system. It's called blanching. Blanche. I always think of Blanche Devereaux on Golden Girls, which, hello, she's the spirit animal. Then in a big bowl, make a mustard vinaigrette. Mustard, white wine vinegar, a little bit of honey, some olive oil, salt and pepper, and then you toss everything in, your cucumbers, your red onions, and all your semi-par cooked veggies. Sunflower seeds, break up a little feta, make sure you salt and pepper it really good, toss it all. Now, on each plate before you serve, this is what I like to do. I like to buy pre-made tzatziki. Don't judge me. Who's the fuck making that? No one with 2 kids. So I like to take a good pre-made tzatziki and then Greek yogurt to add even more protein. Mix those together and then put it on the bed of the plate. Then put a little olive oil on top of that, some salt and pepper. Then put my veggies on top of that. Oh, it is the most beautiful, divine, delicious salad you've ever had. This is the Salad Summer Series, which I feel like everyone is doing online. So you can find salad aplenty, okay? And let me tell you, when you eat the greens, all right, TMI, your poops will be velvet ropes. They will be beautiful and they will be good. And, all those nutrients are just so damn good for you. So try it. Cocktails. Oh my gosh. I have the Empress. It's an elderflower and rose gin. And I made gin and tonics this weekend. Let me tell you about what I made. Okay. So I took this rose and elderflower gin. I did 3 ounces of the gin. Then I did 3 ounces of the lime tonic. Then I did a little squeeze of fresh lime, 1/2 ounce of Saint Germain elderflower liqueur to kind of add to the elderflowerness. I served it with a lime wheel. It was the most beautiful gin and tonic cocktail-ish that me and my friends have ever had. Mine was slurped down way too soon. I got a little tipsy. I'm still actually paying for it. Here we are, freaking 4 days later. So if you love gin and tonics, definitely try buying a good quality gin with elderflower and rose. You guys, it was so lovely. Decor. Now, I always stay up on the decors. I follow a lot of food people, a lot of cocktail people, a lot of decor people so that I can always be fresh on the news for you. And one of the things that I found really interesting, there was a statistic. People with window planter boxes sell their home up to 70% faster. It's the one thing on Zillow, more saves, more shares, more bookings, all on just a planter box. So if you know someone who's selling a home, or if you're trying to sell a home or something like that, think about sprucing it up with a planter box outside the windows. I feel like it gives a very cozy, French, nostalgic vibe. Of course, if it goes with it. Trust me, it's all in the statistics. I got this from Domino Magazine, so if you want to follow Domino Magazine, go for it for the decor. Also, planter boxes are such a good and easy DIY to make yourself, and it's a fun weekend project. And then outside of your windows, you could see the plants and the flowers, which is so lovely. So either do it if you're selling, or if your house just needs a spruce up, don't forget about a planter box. Window planter box at that. All right, and now it's time for some Q&A with some TNA, baby. Dear Juju, I'm noticing some of my favorite content creators from the past are turning into unrelatable douchebags. It's a huge bummer. I don't want to name names and throw hate on the fire, but it made me wonder, how do you plan on staying relatable and humble if you continue to grow in your popularity? How do you handle haters, and how do you stay true to yourself as your audience continues to grow? This is interesting. Here's the thing with me. In particular, I have been in this industry for 20 years, the entertainment industry, right? So I've seen the fame, I've been around it, and I treat Janet Jackson the same way I treat a production assistant, or I treat the driver the same way I treat one of the world's biggest directors. When I'm tour with pop stars, I treat the pop stars the same as I do as the guy serving me. I have been in so many scenarios where I know everyone is the same and everyone has an equal part in this machine of entertainment that we play in. So I think it's a little different for me, A, in my 40s, B, being a professional dancer, being around so many famous people, and when they do turn into douchebags when you're not the famous one, how really depressing and sad and just like shitty it is, and how much perspective they don't have. And I just have been on the other side for so long that I know for me, I have my 2 feet on the ground. I am humble and I am real. You know, right now I think we have about 1,000 listeners across all platforms. And it's just like, whether it's 1,000 or 1,000,000, I'll still be talking about worms coming out my asshole because that shit's funny. And when you stay true to you, when you stay honest, that's when you're relatable. I do see a lot of influencers, and I will level with you here, when they're doing a get ready with me with a YSL bag and then a Coach, and then their glasses are Louis Vuitton, and then their shirt is Alaya, and then their skirt is Louis. It's just like, okay, who else, since you've been gifted that, can put together this $10,000 outfit? Like, that's just out of reach. And then they don't acknowledge it. And I think that's the thing, is like, I think it's more important to like level with your viewers and be like, listen, I didn't pay for none of this shit. They fucking sent it to me. So let's do a $10,000 obscene get ready with me because they sent it to me. You know, and then it's just like, you're relatable. You're like, I didn't spend money on this. And even if you could, it's not a flaunting it situation, right? So I think it's very important to stay real, to stay honest, to stay truthful. And for me, one of the things that I always lean into the most is, you know, I like being silly, funny, and uncomfortable, okay? Silly and shocking. We talked about this a few times ago. So the shockingness, I will always lean into. I'll always lean into the weird. I'll always lean into the honest. And I think stuff like that is what will keep me humble and honest. And I got 2 kids and I got a husband that keeps it real with me. It's important that you also keep people around you that are like, that's super douchey. And then sometimes if you do get blinded by the money or fame or this, that, and the other, to come on and correct it and go, hi. So I was the super douchebag and I couldn't see. And that was, you know, money blinded me a little for a minute, or the reality or opportunities, right? I will say that I've seen that in a lot of comedians as well, that the comedians blow up and then they kind of aren't as funny because they aren't as relatable, because the money or the fame or their opportunities are now blinding them. So I think it's just important to stay honest, to stay real, and talk about buttholes, you know? That just always keeps you humble. Your kids will keep you humble, and so will your husband. How will I handle haters? Blocked. It's on social media. It's my social media. I will not give them an energy exchange, and I just block them. And that's it. And then I move on with my life. But I welcome them because then I know that I've made it. That is a really unfortunate thing that we have to deal with in this day and age, is people who don't have an entertainment background, then they rise to this fame, become unrelatable, become douchey, and then completely change. I mean, it happens in Hollywood too, but at least with Hollywood, they're on a professional set and it's not just like their phone in their car. You know what I mean? Like, there's a level of professionalism. Producers have to hire you, directors, casting directors, and the agency, the hair, the makeup girl. There's such a big reputation in Hollywood when you're actually in the entertainment industry that you want to make sure that that reputation is is always professional, kind, cool. But when you just have your phone in your car and bumfuck, that's when, of course, it gets a little sticky because there's no one to be accountable to. You know what I mean? I hope that answered your question. And let me tell you, this is the problem I can't wait to have. So bring it on, baby. And I hope my viewers, now that I have this podcast, I hope you'll fucking tell me too. I mean, you're not going to get blocked. If you're hating, that's different. But if you're like, you're not as relatable, I'll be like, you know what, bitch? Thank you so much. Let me sit down. Okay? Keep it cute, put it on mute. That's what I say. That's what I tell my kids too. I'm like, honey, you need to keep it cute and put it on mute. Okay? It's team too much. Spritz overload. Oh no. Dear Juju, I love that every week you give us new cocktail recipes. It keeps my bar fresh and fabulous. Yes! I do have to say, I've been spritzing it a lot this summer. It's an easy 1, 2, 3 cocktail that you can make or do for anyone. Yes, it's the best. But spritzing is done. What do you suggest I put in place of it? Oh, this is a great question. And I think it actually ties into the cocktail that I had before, a gin and tonic. Okay, get you a good gin, get you a good tonic, and then add some juice and add some elderflower or a liqueur in there a little bit. Put it over ice and it's just as easy because a spritz is a 1, 2, 3, right? You have the Aperol or, the Aperitivo, whichever one you choose. You have the Prosecco and then you have the sparkling water and then you garnish it with a rind. Gin and tonic is the same. Really, gin is just gin and tonic, but I choose to kind of make it a little more cocktail-y and add a citrus and add a liqueur to kind of take your gin and tonic to the next level. And that's something that's over ice. You have the fizziness, you have the alcohol, you have the sweet, you have the savory, so that's something that's really going to stay on the palate. Don't forget about a gin and tonic. Last question. Dear Juju, I'm so excited for your caftan line to come out. Me too! Soon. So I have a question for you. When I was looking up caftans, I thought of these as mumus. Can you explain the difference between a caftan and a mumu? Oh, this is such a good question. And as your caftan connoisseur, honey, let me tell you, I would say a mumu is more frumpy and a caftan is basically a dress. Usually it started from the Middle East and it has all different kinds of silhouettes. And a caftan is usually made a little better. The seams are better. The material is better. It's more high fashion. It's going to have maybe some embellishments or some embroidery around the neckline, things like this. The difference between all of these, of course, is attitude. Okay. They're pretty much all in the same realm, but the attitude and the craftsmanship is really what sets it apart. Mine, I am calling a glamour gown. Why? First of all, we are doing dead stock materials that you can't find anywhere else on the planet that are as unique as you are. The craftsmanship. We are doing French seams. We are doing a silhouette that is so complementary to the female body. It is something that I have created. It's called a hip seam at an angle that's just going to sit on your hips where you can flow, but then show the booty. And it's going to have lurex. It's going to be silk. And the attitude that you will slip onto it is going to be out of this world. So what really separates all these things is what separates all good things is the attitude, the eye, and the craftsmanship that goes into these things. And you ain't going to find any better than a Dear Juju glamour gown. And if you want to be an mama glamour-rama, listen up. You don't have to be a mother, okay? But let's say you're just like, I need instant glamour. I'll tell you, I got it on today, okay? Because I didn't really feel like it. Hair up, okay? Look at what she does for the face, okay? Look at this. She pulls it up. She's up and she's a little taller. Then we ain't doing the hair. Big statement earrings, okay? These are from Zara. They were super cheap. They were like $20, but look how fabulous they are. Are you kidding me? Hair up, statement earrings, and then throw on a dress. That's it. 1, 2, 3. Don't try me, okay? That's a mama glamourama for you. It literally is an instant glamour when you don't have time, when you need to go somewhere and you need to look put together and fabulous. That's really all you need. All right, that's the podcast. Go buy some good gin and some good tonic. Think about a planter box for a DIY to spruce up your home's value when you sell it now or later and enjoy it now. Make that summer veggie salad on that bed of yogurt. It's divine. You can put a a little grilled chicken or something on the side, or a grilled salmon. It sounds delicious. And if you can, try to get some home videos, because there is nothing better than looking in the eyes of you at 2, 3, and 4 and going, I'm going to make you proud. Undo all the shit that the world has put on top of you, that you've put on top of you, and just get back to who you are and prove it and be happy with you, you know? And don't forget power of perseverance. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Some people are like, is there anything you can't do? Yeah, it's sing. Okay. But I have to tell you, sometimes I be singing that song when I'm driving in my car, especially when people are pissing me off in LA traffic and I want to stick up my middle finger and go, fuck you, idiot. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And then that really actually pisses them off. And then I laugh. Anyways, don't forget that you're a star. Shine your light. I love you. I'll see you next week. Mwah! And I'm out.